let's begin, Paula, with some question for you. Well, you work with a lot of companies during your experience, right? What challenges do you face when recruiting for companies that haven't done this kind of exercise before requiring your services?
I think the first problem that we encounter as recruiters, if an organization hasn't done this level of prep, is how quickly can both parties trust each other and trust each other's judgments and comments and contributions. And the lack of prep isn't as big a problem as lack of trust. And it's responsibility on both sides. It's responsibility on our side as recruiters and on the hiring company's side to decide, do these people know what they're talking about? Do I trust them? Do they have a track record? All the usual sensible considerations before you work with somebody. Now, if a sensible level of trust can't be established, the whole thing backfires anyway for both parties. If the preparation hasn't been done, doing as much of that prep before engaging with any third party, or if you're engaging with your own in-house recruitment team, is valuable. It is time spent, and it cuts down on waste of money. It cuts down on, there is no absolute perfect solution. I wish there was. There is no prescriptive methodology. I wish there was, because we'd all be settled and with no worries about our bills in life. It just, that prescriptive methodology doesn't exist. But the more prep can be done, whether you're using your internal team or going to external third-party providers, the better.
Yes, in our case, we were discussing about that, in which case, of course, that regarding budget, but it's about the main goal and the time that you have to fulfill the vacancy as well, right? So it's no easy, but what advice would you give to a company that is new in this process and they want to offer or to work with a clear process and be honest in what they are offering to the candidates?
I think you've actually used the magic word yourself, is just be honest. The other thing that I also probably should have mentioned is the buy-in of other stakeholders in your organization matters. So if you are the person that has been asked to hire one person or 10 people, but you don't have the full buy-in from the people that prepare the budgets, from the people that actually sign off on final hiring, oh my goodness, your job is going to be close to torture. You're going to, so try your best to get buy-in from the final decision maker, from the person that's running the budgets, and from the person that can go through the proper requirements. And then talk to, if you are going externally, talk to other people in the industry that that have used agencies and ask them, who do you use? What has worked better for you? That's what I would do. Because every one of us in business puts the pretty face outward. That's our job. That is our job. So all of us have pretty faces out on our advertising and our marketing and our communications. And that's what we pay our marketing communications people to do. But in order to ensure that you have the organization, if you're using an external provider, that is going to work with your type of organization, speak to somebody else that you know in the industry and say, look, we have 10 staff, we have 100 staff, we want to grow by 10%, 20%. We actually want to switch out an existing team to a different skill set. You guys are doing the same, have done the same. What worked for you? That's what I would do.
Yes, and with our culture, right? If we have cultural fit with these providers.
Yes.
It's interesting what you say. I used to be a manager in multinational companies, and it was like my policy. Try to look for referrals, because maybe you are like taking a big risk hiring a new provider for this kind of procedures, right? And if you have like someone in the industry that you trust in, and you can ask about their experiences, it's always like a guarantee, right? That everything is going to fit with your company. And Nikki was talking about the previous session about the non-negotiable things. I like this expression. So sometimes we don't stop during our daily work and think about that. How do you recommend to do this process to analyze which are your non-negotiable things or benefits that you are going to have in your company to hire the talent and to keep them? Because if not only to hire the people to have the right person now, if not to keep them during the process that the project is going to take, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, or 4 years, whatever you need.
I think unfortunately for all of us, what ends up being our non-negotiables are the things that have pinched us badly in the past. And that's not enough. I mean, it matters. I think it really, really matters, because I can tell you, I have a list as long as I'm a very tall woman, and I have a list as long as both arms with things that have pinched me, and I've been doing this forever. So they automatically are at the top of my non-negotiables, but it's not enough. Particularly, I think, with growing teams, because with the growing organization, you know, those organizations that are fortunate enough to be scaling up, because as we're scaling, as the businesses are scaling, everything is changing. The internal culture is changing. The expectations of, you're probably now starting to introduce different layers of management. All those individuals' expectations is changing. So unfortunately, all that has to be addressed in your non-negotiables, as well as those things that have pinched you in the past, pinched you in your bottom in the past. So having a look, if it's me, what I do is, because there's nothing that I can do to stop my brain telling me, oh my God, I'm never hiring a person again that does that, or that speaks that way, or that says this in an interview, and, you know, all that stuff. That comes to me no matter how hard I try it not to. But what also now I do is I look at what my company needs for the next 12 months. And I also then, if we're working with companies to help us, for us to help them hire teams, I try when I can, when people will talk to us about this, to say, so what do you want in the next 12 months, 24 months, and 36 months in your organization? Now, because this industry is changing so quickly, 36 months might be a bit of a pointless luxury. Yeah. But at the very least, 12 and 24 months, because if for example, you know, you're sitting on team numbers of 10 people, and your goal in the next 12 months is to get that to 15 people or 20 people, everything in your organization has changed if you're going from 10 to 20. So it's not only, I'm sorry, am I rambling now, Natalia?
No. Continue. Okay. That's great.
So they are all that needs to be brought into consideration when you're looking at your non-negotiables.
Yeah, so you recommend that do it as a regular exercise, maybe once a year, or each time that you have like a new goal or a new project to review it if it's going to change the structure of your organization, because you can have the non-negotiables like forever, right?
Oh no, that's pointless. Because if your company, unfortunately, is going the other way and it's reducing in size, I mean, there's just a different set of problems, a different set of non-negotiables that need to be looked at. So, you know, if you're trying to replace a particular skill set, pardon me. For me, again, if your organization does, you know, business target reviews and goal reviews every 6 months, okay, that's the time to look at it. Some organizations do it once a year. That's the time to look at it. I would, at the very least. I mean, and then sometimes if, let's say, a team walks out, then you have to look at it pretty quickly, pretty immediately. You don't have the luxury to wait for 6 months or 12 months.